What's up, everybody? Welcome to Storm Sessions. My name is Danny Enriquez, and I am here with a Friday night starter for your Miami Hurricanes, Nick Robert. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. So you're back starting. You're back kind of in high school mode. How you feeling?
I feel great. Just getting that routine back to where it was, but I feel great.
You made a huge jump, from last year to this year in terms of velocity, pitches. What got you to that point where you just were able to add so much in a short period of time?
I was here all summer. I didn't go to summer ball. JD wanted me to stay over summer. So I literally stayed in Brian Walter's apartment by myself all summer. Just worked out here, threw a little bit, and I guess that's really it. I just worked out a lot, threw every day. I threw, got better. Didn't really work on anything, just kind of, just got stronger. So
all three of you guys, it seems like you guys are tight, all really big in your faith, right-handers, right? You were relievers, now you're starting. It seems like it's like a pretty cohesive top three.
Absolutely. Me, B-Wall, Griff, it's just crazy. It's crazy that we're the weekend guys, because it's any day we could just go out there and win. And Brian, as a Sunday guy, me and Griff always say he's the best Sunday guy in the nation. Probably the best, might be the best starter in the country. We're all so close. Griffin I knew in high school, so that he came to Miami it's crazy. So
is it competitive too, like friendly competition?
Absolutely. We always mess around, but definitely.
So I was able to talk to your mom, Amanda, Pascal. The whole family was on the speakerphone. You guys are obviously real tight. Cool journey for your dad. He was in Canada. He's French Canadian. Then he's in Africa. Then he comes to Florida. Yeah. Do you speak any French or no?
Nah. A little bit. I know numbers, stuff like that, but nah. My grandparents definitely don't like that. I don't speak French. They want me to do it. They want me to speak French. My dad does too, but I don't know. It's so hard. I'm so busy.
Well, your dad says he talks French with Daniel Couvet's dad, right? Who he's from France. So if it was a French competition with the basics that you have, you think you could beat Couvet, or is he beating you?
I don't know. Who got it? Who probably has it for sure. But it's definitely close, I'd say.
So you grew up down here, Martin County, which, for those who don't know, one of the fishing capitals of the world, right?
Yeah.
So it must be a pretty cool childhood, fishing, sports, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I didn't fish a lot, but kind of high school, just junior, senior year, one of my best friends lived on the water, and we'd always go fishing or whatever. But I only like saltwater fishing. Yeah. So.
Gotcha. If only for the big ones.
Yeah, only the big ones.
That's the Friday night mentality right there. But sports-wise, I know you played all kinds of sports, whether it was baseball, soccer, which obviously your dad was a soccer player, right? Yeah. And then martial arts, I heard a lot of other stuff. So tell me about just playing sports growing up. Your brother Gabe, also a really good athlete.
Yeah, I love it. I love every sport. I love to watch every sport, just keep up with it. I just love to compete, any sport. Me and my brother used to play, he'd be 2 years older, and I'd always try to beat him at anything he did. Basketball. I never played football, but I love to just play catch, whatever it was. Soccer. My brother played soccer. I played soccer a lot growing up. I did karate, martial arts, whatever. I played lacrosse for a year, just stuff like that. But it's just I love competing. I love playing every sport. And
when did you finally beat your brother? Because I know that's a big moment in every little brother's life.
Yeah. I'd always put up a fight. He'd probably say I didn't, but I always put up a fight. Probably when I hit my growth spurt and I got bigger than him, and then I would beat up on him and his older friends for sure. Probably 15, 16, I started beating him. So
as well. You were not just a pitcher, right? You see some people that are POs early. They're really focused on their arms and everything else. But you were playing third, right? First, pitching. Tell me about your baseball journey just as a player.
It's pretty crazy. Pitching was the last thing. Pitching, I'd just go in there. They just throw me in there, and I'd always do pretty good. But I loved hitting. I loved playing a position, any position, honestly. I played shortstop in high school for a couple games. I just love hitting. But I'd say it's still crazy. Like I'm still really kind of new to pitching if you really look at it. Maybe like 2 years, not even 2 years since I really focused on pitching. So yeah, my journey's been pretty crazy. I don't like this is just the beginning, really, to be honest.
And before we get into like college and everything else, just going back to growing up, I know you guys are a really tight family.
Yeah.
You were taking trips to like Canada, right, or the Northeast
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah.
Just tell me just about non-sports growing up and some of the things that you enjoyed to do.
Yeah, traveling, definitely Canada. Just go to Canada every summer. We kick soccer balls. We do like anything. And then we always went to Montauk with my uncle and aunt every summer. That was so fun. And then stayed with my grandma in upstate New York. Like, so we'd always do like just a round trip, staying with each, my grandparents, my uncle. Yeah, it was so fun. It was so fun.
The snowbird life. You go up there when it's nice and warm, then you're back down here for the winter.
Exactly.
Not a bad way to be.
Yeah.
So going back to baseball, were you like going to all the camps and all the tournaments that everybody else was, or like how did the shift go from being like a guy who played soccer and baseball to being more of a serious baseball prospect?
I definitely went to a lot of tournaments. I didn't really go to a lot of camps. I maybe went to like one showcase to see like where I was at. But starting like young high school, I wasn't highly like recruited or anything like that. But I always worked hard and like stick to it. And then I'd say like junior year, senior year, I had a lot of people in my corner that supported me and helped me get recruited and stuff like that. But other than that, yeah, I went to tournaments like that. I wasn't on any big teams except for my junior year, because I was obviously a two-way and I kind of wanted to do both. But yeah, I went to a lot of camps, or some camps and tournaments like that.
When did the dream start? Because look, you're a Friday starter at one of the most prestigious baseball programs in the country, 4 national titles. So you're at a pretty high level right now.
Yeah.
When did you start visualizing that like I could be at that kind of place?
I'd say like junior year summer. I played on like the Phillies, and I did really well that summer, pitching against really good teams, and I just kind of like, I'm gonna put the work in, and like I know that I could do it. I know I could be one of the best, and yeah.
You mentioned that for a while you wanted to be a two-way.
Yeah.
Griffin Hugas, who's this Saturday starter we had in last week.
Yeah.
He was a two-way for a little bit.
Yeah.
If there was like a home run derby or something, who do you think's taking that between you two?
Me for sure. Me for sure. I got way more juice than Griffin. I'm double his size. I lift more than him.
Do they let you do it? Do they let you take some BP?
No, JD does never. He never lets us. He might like Griff because I don't know, but he thinks I'm gonna get hurt, JD. But come on,
that's the pitcher mentality, man.
Yeah, I know, but definitely me for sure.
So recruiting wise, we had Daniel Cuvée in, who he was committed to UM from his like freshman year, right? Yeah. You were the last guy in the class. So it's kind of like the bookends, right?
Exactly.
And then last year, you end up playing just, you guys were the 2 freshmen that played the most. So it was funny to see that kind of dynamic, right? So being that last person in the class, just tell me how you got in the class, and just kind of your mentality is like, not the perfect game superstar that everybody expects to be the man right away.
Yeah, like I came, UM was the last school that recruited me. It was kind of like I knew one of my coaches, high school coaches, grew up here and knew JD. He knew Jim Morris, stuff like that. But and then I had one of my like advisors. He knew JD really well and knew a bunch of people in here in Miami. So then like when it's crazy how like connected before I even came to Miami, like everyone had these connections to UM, and I'm like, oh my God, like it's like a family, like it's like a culture. So then when I came here and I took like an unofficial visit, whatever, it was just crazy. I was just kind of blown away that JD gave me like that opportunity, because I knew I was really late. and this is a huge school, and it's probably one of my only huge school. So I was like, wow, like this is crazy. JD gave me the opportunity. I knew I was gonna be like one of the last guys, probably the last guy. And then sort of then I just kind of like I was like, yeah, like I'm gonna go to Miami, like take a chance. JD believes in me, and I mean, it's still surreal, it's still crazy. But at first, I didn't know like if I'd fit in, kind of whatever. But I really like took a chance and like looked in the mirror and I was like, I can if I put the work in, like I know I'm gonna fit in.
So you're like 2 hours away. Did you go to any games growing up or camps or anything at the Light?
Never. I didn't go to. I don't think I ever went to like a college baseball game really. Um, I knew I liked Miami obviously, but nah, I never really, never.
So that was
Yeah,
an eye opener then, going
yeah,
seeing the
it's crazy.
championships, and then they're recruiting you to
Yeah,
be the next guy.
it's crazy. And then like I remember like looking through pictures, and I was like, my favorite player was Alex Rodriguez growing up. So then I'm going through pictures. My first Yankee game, I had an A-Rod jersey on, and then I remember like my first lacrosse practice one day. I'm wearing a UM like football jersey, and I'm like, like everything is like connected. And then obviously I said like the thing with my high school coach, how he knows Jim Morris, and I talking to him the other day, like it's just crazy. Like everything in Miami is a culture. It's like connected, and it couldn't be more like meant to be.
And when you came in, did you have self-doubt? Like, all right, I'm the last guy in this class. I'm gonna have to wait. I might redshirt, or were you coming in like, all right, I'm playing the first series. I'm gonna be playing ACC. And I'm gonna be a guy on this team right away.
I say at first, like in high school, I was like, oof, because like you hear all these kids throwing hard and like Danny like hitting bombs, like gonna go to the league or whatever, and I'm just like, kind of like I did have that self doubt, and then I really like manifested all of this. I was kind of like I literally said to myself like, I'm gonna play, like there's no other option. Like I remember I was at my signing thing, and one of the questions the guy asked me was like, are you expecting to play? And I was like hell yeah, like I have to play. Like there's no other option. So definitely when I got here, I saw like I knew I was gonna work hard, do everything right, make a good impression, and yeah, definitely. So I knew that I manifested it, and I knew that I was gonna play.
And they didn't just like, wean you in slowly. I mean, you were in the
Yeah,
deep end pretty soon that
yeah,
season. You're coming into very tough situations quickly, in my opinion, establish yourself as the top reliever
yeah.
by a good margin. This Penn this year, there's a lot of guys.
Hmm.
You really carried a huge load last year.
Hmm.
So mentality wise, freshman, a lot of veteran players kind of looking at you like, all right,
Yeah,
get us home and win this game for
yeah.
us. What was that like?
I mean, there's no better feeling. Like if you probably ask my mom, she'd freak out because she gets
I did, and she told me that.
yes, she freaks out. But like for me, it's just like I was always kind of so calm and just like whatever. Like you go out there, you do your best. That's all that matters. And I love to win too. So that's really it. Yeah.
We talked about you making a big jump this past
Yeah.
offseason, and in my opinion, looking like somebody that has a pro future. Is that something that's always kind of been on your mind, or you kind of step by step, or did you mentioned junior year when you started believing in yourself, you said, all right, my goal, major leagues and everything else.
Yeah. I mean, like I've always kind of went step by step, but the more like people talk about it, I guess you really do think about it, and like absolutely, I've always wanted to be the best, but definitely I've always told my parents, told my friends like that I'm gonna do it, and it's like it's reality now, which is pretty crazy because I just like to think about the present, but definitely.
And let's go technical baseball for a second. Everybody can see the velocity jump, right? Kind of low 90s, now more mid 90s
Yeah.
with your fastball. But your arsenal, how has it changed and evolved from year one to year two?
It's just throwing more. Like I said, I was really young. Like I'm still like only focused on pitching. So when you throw like every day, you have Laz and JD like by your side. Especially Laz just helped out with everything. I mean, there was games last year where I was throwing different slider grips every game. So just like getting comfortable with a grip, throwing it more. And one of the big things for me has just been like setting my sight to where I want to like throw it or whatever. But just throwing every day, getting used to the grip, what you want to do with it, whatever it is. There's just so much stuff that goes into it. But I feel like really the more you throw every day, the more you have knowledge of yourself and the more you can repeat that.
You're one of the few guys that was on last year's team, right?
Yeah.
So obviously you had a great season, but the team as a whole in the history of UN, not one of the strongest seasons. So
Yeah.
now you're coming back. You got a
Mhm.
lot of new guys who weren't part of
Yeah.
that, who didn't
Mhm.
experience that. How do you kind of bridge the gap between like, the confidence of all these new guys coming in and, knowing how it was and just being a veteran in that room?
Yeah. It was definitely hard, like being a part of like that history at first. Um, because it sucks. Like I hate losing. It's the number one thing ever. I'd sacrifice anything. Like I'd do bad for us to win, like any day of the week. So it was definitely hard, but I knew that JD, trusting JD for sure. These are the guys that he wants to bring it back to where this program belongs. So just having that faith and definitely the leadership that the seven of us bring. Obviously, we're part of the wrong side of history, but I think anything could be better than that. And yeah, just we know what the culture is, and everyone's gonna have a role on the team, and just the team chemistry too. Mainly, I was a freshman last year, so I didn't know what to do or what to expect. So it was a lot different than this year. I mean, like the first, second week, we were all hanging out with each other this year and like getting to know each other. So like it's just crazy. We were all really, really close, and there's definitely a huge, huge difference
Yeah,
for
just
sure.
looking at the roster, we talked about the starters, the
Mhm.
the three weekend starters, and
Yeah,
kind of your journey. Guys like Ogden, Galvin, who were not maybe respected for their talents
yeah.
that we know they have, but
Mhm.
now that we've seen them, is that something you see on this team where there's just a lot of guys that are kind of like, listen, we're big time players.
Yeah.
You may not know it, or you maybe didn't know it before, but we're going to
Mhm.
show you.
Everyone, literally everyone. Like you literally can't sleep on anyone. Obviously, there might not be like the big, big names or whatever, but that's what we want. Like we want those undercover guys to any chance they get, they're gonna put up a good AB, whatever it is. Like they're gonna make a good pitch, and that's just how that's how it is this year for sure. You really cannot sleep on anyone.
And Miami in general, now switching from the baseball, just being a student, now you're entering your second year.
Mhm.
You lived in Miami a couple of years. You're a student. What have you liked about just the whole environment?
It's crazy. Like it's just like everything's just die hard Miami. Like it's definitely really fast paced. But I love it. There's so much stuff to do here. Um, Obviously the U, but there's just there's a lot. It's a lot here. But I'd say the one thing is just the culture. Culture is crazy. Like everything is about Miami. Everyone loves Miami. Everyone's like connected through Miami. So it is pretty crazy.
And what is stuff you like to do when you're not playing baseball here at Miami? You guys go to the beach, play video games. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, I mean, some of us play video games, but like beach, pool, we go to the pool, whatever. But golf sometimes, like in the fall, we golfed a lot. Um, what else do we do? So one of the kids lives here. We'll go on the boat or something, just hang out at their house, and yeah, just hanging out. Really,
How's your golf game?
it's all right. It's all right. Not the best, because I mean, I have terrible clubs, so like it's
Playing
like
the clubs.
the clubs are like so short on me, and I don't play enough to have like to get fitted or whatever, but once I get fitted, I'm gonna turn it up for
Well,
sure.
until you get the new clubs, who's kind of the top dog on the team golfing wise?
Top dog, Tate or Will Smith. Tate's nice though.
Well, he's a young kid too, and he's
Young
he's
kid, he
already
plays
good.
a lot. He has a great swing. Will, he's good too. He got a nice little lefty swing.
Awesome, man.
Yeah,
So before we get to the fan questions here, there's a lot. There's a lot that goes into being a student athlete. You're studying,
yeah,
especially a pitcher, all the prep that you have to do. I'm
hmm
sure some days you're not feeling that good to go out there and do what you have to do.
yeah.
What drives you to push forward and make it happen?
Just like every day. I mean, like for me, I saw a quote, and it's like the extraordinary players do more what the ordinary players do, like on a daily basis. So like I don't know, every day I just work hard. I always just get like like a flashback of something like my parents did, like how they worked hard, how they gave me something, and all it goes back to is like how I'm gonna repay them. And yeah, like I want to be the best I can be, so I gotta work hard every single day. There's no off days.
Love it. Now we got some questions here from Josh Krulik. What's your favorite spot on campus and off?
Like food place, probably.
Yeah, sure.
We go to Panda a lot. Me and Griffin, we live there. And then off, I'd probably say like Casa Cuba, or we go to Titanic or Miami's Best, something close. But Casa Cuba, a little farther off, but that's like the go-to place probably.
Yeah, Max Galvin told me that he's turning Cuban with how much Cuban coffee he's been drinking.
Oh my God, Cuban coffee! Oh, don't get me started. I love that. I love that.
Gioli Fiore wants to know, how do you mentally prepare yourself for a start?
Honestly, I don't do anything crazy. I try to take it like like just repeat my day. I try to like act like every day is like a start day, kind of like it sounds like I don't know, but I just like to keep the same thing I'm doing. Don't do anything crazy, anything special. Obviously you're starting, so it is a different day, but just keep the same day. I like to eat and stay hydrated, obviously, but that's really it.
Dom Del Sesto has a similar question. Was there any kind of physical kind of warm up you do to get ready, like any physical process to get ready to start?
We just do, stuff with our trainer, and then stuff with our weight guy. I like to do some sprint, like banded work, explosive work like that. But other than that, nothing crazy. Just same thing, really. Same thing every day.
That's how you get to greatness, man.
Yeah.
Just consistency.
Yeah.
So, hey, appreciate you,
Yeah.
Nick. Looking forward to watching the rest of the
Absolutely.
season. And thanks for joining Storm Sessions.
Appreciate it.
Remember to like and subscribe on YouTube. Canes All Access, also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Meet great student athletes like this man, Nick Robert.
Thank you.